Hi guys, and welcome to another FxEdge Power Hour. I am Marcello Ducil, and we're going to get going and do what we have done all of 2010 and now into 2011, which is an analysis of the markets and an evaluation of our strategies, which are based upon the 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time close of our daily bars and our 4-hour bars. Why is this important? This is obviously important for us because we find that we have a higher probability of success from our entries, certainly from a swing trader's perspective, but in general for most of our trades. Now, we've got a real treat for you today. I've got with me a couple of my VIP traders. For those of you who don't even really if you don't know about my VIP traders, those of you who know about FxEdge, what we do here, we produce high probability trading systems that are fully automated. The full automation has allowed us to take advantage of high probability setups. By trading this way, we become more like the house. And we're also able to systematically and consistently take and extract profit from the markets. And so that is why we're talking about what we're talking about today. With me here, let me go ahead and actually I'm going to unmute you guys so that you are on live right now. Hi, Keith and Sally.
Hi.
Hi, this is Keith and Sally Snyder, and they are two of my proteges. They're my VIP traders. I've got a group of traders, and what they do, they are actually the elite. And essentially what they do is that they design strategies with me. We work on the research and development, the design of strategies. Some of my VIPs work on the actual programming of those strategies, and obviously the implementation. What I can tell you about the Snyders is one of the great things about them is if you know anything about our Weekend Warrior robot, our Weekend Warrior, they're actually the originators of that strategy. The strategy has been around for quite a long time, but the our automation, us putting it together, really came about because of them. They started that. They were the seed of that. We were able to automate that strategy and to make it an exceptional strategy that has produced quite a very decent income for people who want to trade for 1 hour a week. We actually have some numbers on that, but we're not going to get into that today. If you were a part of the Weekend Warrior trading session yesterday that we had and we invited everyone to it, you would have been one of those people who was able to profit either 5% if you risk 2% per trade there, or if you risk or potentially 10%, depending on your risk. Okay, so we've been able to extract profit from the market. And the next question that you have as a trader when you're profitable is, what do I do now? How is this going to affect me from a tax standpoint? What am I going to do with my money? These are the questions that we've got to ask. We're very fortunate to have traders who have to deal with these types of things on a regular basis. This is what we do. Also, these guys actually we're very fortunate because we actually have Sally with us who has a specialty in these areas. She knows a lot about it, about this type of thing, and she's going to share with us based upon her perspective. Okay, and of course you will check with a tax professional yourself. I'll say that, and I know she will say that again. And go ahead, you can definitely say that after I've said it too, Sally.
Yes, I will.
Reiterate that. But certainly just giving you a general idea of the concept of the self-directed Forex IRA. That's going to help you in your bottom line. So if you're a profitable trader, this is something that you're going to need to be concerned about, not to worry about, but to be concerned about. And so with that, having said that, I'm pretty much going to hand this presentation over to them. what they're going to do today is, like I said, it's two parts. They're going to tag team on this. Keith is going to do a daily market analysis, strategy analysis after the point. After we're going to let Sally go first on the IRA. She's going to talk about self-directed Forex IRAs, and then we're going to let Keith go. And Keith, of course, is a very good trader, and he's going to go into the STPs. He's going to go into the IBOs. He's going to go into all of our trades quickly to tell you how they performed as we are accustomed to doing, and whatever he may see in the market to help you guys to hopefully effectuate some sort of profit in this session and the session that is to come. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and get going. You guys are in for a treat. Thank you very much, Sally and Keith, for being a part of this today and for sharing what you have for us. So I'm going to get out of the way and let you do what you have to do here. So I'm going to switch screens here with you.
Okay. Hi. Today I'm talking about Forex. I'm talking about setting up a. I'm talking about setting up a Forex IRA account. An IRA account is a retirement account, an individual retirement account. And I'm also going to talk to you about the rules of traditional and Roth IRAs, because you have to decide which one's best for you. And of course, there's a lot of information. This is not a complete rules, and I'm going to also tell you that you really need to talk to your tax professional. And be sure that you do it before April 15th. Tax professionals do not like you to show up on April 15th with a new tax situation. You don't show up with your paper stuck into a shoebox.
There you go. That's what I do, by the way. All right.
Okay, so they hate you when they have a picture of you on their dartboard that they throw darts in their break room. Okay, what a self-directed IRA basically is this is an IRA where you can direct your investments. Of course, that's within the laws of the United States and also the rules of the IRS. There's millions of people, millions of Americans who use a self-directed IRA. There's about $4 trillion invested in self-directed IRAs, and these self-directed IRAs are for alternative assets such as the Forex, real estate, commercial paper. And I know a lot of times when you go down to like your Edward Jones dealer and you want to set up an IRA account, they're going to show you a mutual fund, but there are companies out there that you can do a self-directed IRA, and they are basically, those companies are custodial firms. You have to have a custodial firm because it's required by the IRS. They are kind of your administrator. They execute your required documents. They have a legal team to make sure everything's legal. But they do charge you a fee for their knowledge and assistance. So you need to check with them and see which one you want to use. And we'll talk about that later. The rules of traditional IRAs. If you want more information, you can go to www.irs.gov and look at your IRS Publication 590. That's about 108 pages, so as you can imagine, we're not going to be here for 8 hours so I can cover all that. What you must have to have a traditional IRA is you must have taxable income from wages or self-employment, or your spouse must have taxable income if you're filing jointly, and you must be under the age of 70 and a half. A traditional IRA is tax deferred. That means you're going to pay taxes after you retire and you're withdrawing that money. You know, there's a limited amount of your income that you can set up. You can set up, if you're under 50, you can have $5,000. If you're over 50, $6,000. And all of that must be taxable taxable income. Also on the traditional IRA, you can make those contributions anytime during the year. You can do them dollar cost averaging, so much per week or month, or you can do it by your due date. And of course, For 2010, the due date for filing is April 18th because there's a holiday in Washington, D.C. on the 15th of April. In case you didn't know, you have an extra 3 days to file your tax returns this year. Don't wait until April 18th to go see your tax professional, however. They won't like you. Also on traditional IRAs, if you take out the money before you're 59 and a half, there is going to be an additional 10% penalty or tax. There are exceptions to that rule. There's many exceptions to that rule. Again, if you look at IRS publication 550, you can see a long list of that. There are also required minimum distributions to traditional IRAs. The year that you turn the year that you turn 70 and a half, you must start taking out minimum distributions by the following year, by the April 1st of the following year. And this is also true with your 401k. There's a lot of things that affects whether your contribution to your IRA is deductible, and that's part of it is, do you have a retirement plan at work? Are you filing with your spouse? Does your spouse have a retirement plan at work? Are you collecting Social Security? And how much income you make. So again, talk to your tax preparer or look up publication 590. On Roth IRAs, again, you or your spouse must have taxable income. But it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're 109 and you have taxable income, you can put money into your Roth IRA. You can't deduct the contributions that you make to your Roth IRA because you get the tax-free part when you take it out. So let's say you put $5,000 in and you make a bunch of money in the Forex, which we hope you do. When you retire, maybe 10, 20 years down the road, when you take out those distributions, those qualified distributions, they're tax-free. I recommend a combination of both. If you have a 401k where you work, a Roth IRA is a great thing to have. So when you're retiring, you can have a combination to save tax dollars in those retirement years. Again, your contributions are, you can put in $5,000 if you're under the age of 50 or $6,000 if you're over the age of 50. Contributions, again, can be made anytime before your due date of your filing due date, which is April 18th this year. Now, if you were making a traditional IRA and you decided to make it now, but you've already filed your tax return, you'd have to amend your 1040. But if you're making a Roth, you don't actually record how much you're contributing on your tax return, so you can make that anytime without amending your 1040 form. Your distributions that you the distribution of contributions that you put in to your Roth, you can take out at any time. You can't take out the earnings, but many people use a Roth IRA as emergency fund because of this. There are early distributions, that is, of things that you didn't contribute to on your Roth IRA. You need to wait 5 years, you need to be over 59 and a half, or there is a 10% tax penalty on that. There are exceptions to this rule. Again, publication 590 will cover that. Required minimum distribution, there are none. You can leave a Roth in your entire life, and so your children can inherit it. They must withdraw it within 5 years after you have passed away, however. On your, if you can do a Roth IRA is based on whether you have a retirement plan, how much you make, what your filing status is. I have it up on my PowerPoint what that is, but you can also look on publication 590. Again, this wasn't a complete all the laws and rules of the IRS on IRAs. But again, I want you to go talk to your tax professional before you set those up. Since so many of you guys have an FxEdge for Forex account, I went ahead and talked to them, and you know that if you go to their chat, they're more than willing to talk to you, and they're kind of your frenemies. They want you to set up your account, and then after you have their account set up, they want the money out of your account. But here are the people that they suggest as custodial firms. I've called all three of them, and many of them have sent me information. I sent that information to Teresa, so if you're interested in these accounts, she can forward that to you.
Info at myfxedge.com.
After you choose.
There you go.
I'm sorry. Okay, after you choose what type of IRA you want and who you want to use as your custodial account, FxEdge or any of your brokers will have a page that will, especially in the United States, will have a page on what you need to do next. But you need to set up a main account application, and you need to indicate that it is an IRA and put in your IRA account number. So you need to set up with a custodial firm first, and then you complete the rest of these. So step 2 would be your main application. Then you need to do an account agreement, and then additional risk disclosure if that applies to you. And I guess I'm going to let Keith do the charts first, and then if you have any questions, we'll answer them at that time.
Okay. Now let's see.
Well, actually, sorry, Keith. Sorry, Keith. I don't want to stop you. Maybe we can answer some questions quickly about take a few questions about about Forex self-directed Forex IRAs, just so that they can we can get a couple questions that they may have about that, if there are a few questions. And usually people have more questions as we go forward, so we're only going to take a couple that may be relevant right now. I think.
Okay,
do you see
somebody
them?
wanted to see. Yeah. I do not know the laws in the UK. You'll have to talk to whomever would be equivalent to an a tax preparer in the United Kingdom. I don't really know anything about taxes in the UK. Somebody wanted to see, let me see.
No matter what, guys, we're just giving you a broad overview of how this works and why you may want to consider a Forex self-directed IRA. The reason that we're not here to give you any tax advice, we're not here to give you any legal advice. We're here to direct you to point you in the right direction, and so that you can say, hey, this may be something that I may want to do later on, and this is something that I may have to I may have to check into a little bit further.
Okay. One of the questions that I have here. Okay, let me see. I'm having problems seeing all the questions. Okay, not that. Okay, Brad was saying that he does trade with his self-directed Roth IRA, so good for you. I'm glad. Somebody in Canada wanted to know about it. Again, you need to check with your accountant. And then somebody was talking about using UGM account. You are going to have to talk to your custodio or your firm to see if if you can trade through, you know, Roth through or an IRA through that particular account, or the Forex through that account. Again, you need to talk to your administrator on that.
I've got an easy one for you here. Hey, if you do not set up an IRA, are the profits losses treated as capital gains or losses? Thanks, Charlie.
Oh, if you know, on the taxes. Thanks, Keith. He just asked if you don't use an IRA, is it treated as, if you don't use an IRA, is it treated as gains or losses?
Right.
Okay, you know, so Forex has, again, you should talk to your,
Tax professional.
Tax preparer. But the Forex has a special treatment. There is a special treatment on, but there are, part of it is long-term, part of it is short-term gains, and your tax preparer will be able to help you with that.
But in a word, yes. Yes. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time here. I think a lot of people will there are a lot of questions that she's going to have to get through, and we can probably wait till after. So I'm just let's go ahead and I just wanted to answer a couple of questions just to whet their appetite about some of the questions that you can answer later, perhaps, upon your discretion, of course. And Keith, I'm just going to go ahead and hand it over to you and let you move on. Guys, if you've got any questions about trading, or if you're interested in trading or learning more about what we do here, I'm going to put a link at the bottom here so that you can learn more about FxEdge and what wonderful people like Keith and Sally are doing here, and honestly get on the road to being profitable. If you're not already on that road, if you do not have the Weekend Warrior trading robot, and I will tell you, even if you've got every other product that we have, you need to get in on the Weekend Warrior. And that's all I've got to say to that. So with that, Keith, it's all yours. I'm actually going to step off right now, so have at it. Have fun.
Okay. All right. Well, what we're going to do is look at the charts. We have, I'm starting off, as Marcello always does, with the STPs, and starting off with the euro dollar. I went ahead and put in something that I always do when I have my STPs set up, is I just stretch this out and put lines at the 81 and 18 areas, just so that as I'm looking at things, it just stands out a little bit more. Oh, that's why it wouldn't have traded or whatever. But anyway, as y'all know, we've been in a trade here for quite a while. I put an arrow back here where this thing started, and we have the red to green, and it was above the 19 level, so that qualified as the trade. The volatility showed 131 pip risk, and it just kind of started going up from here. It retraced a lot of that, and that's not unusual. Sometimes it goes that way, sometimes not, but it finally gathered up the rest of its steam or whatever and started going. Made a first take profit for the fixed position up here, and then kind of this consolidation area. We can see the green turned red, but that wasn't a signal because it was higher than 81, so it just stayed in the trade, and then it went ahead and popped up a little bit, and then back down. You can see the chart movement, and then it continues on up, and to the point that we're clear up here, we're about 6.5 times the risked amount on whatever your second position is. How far up this is how this has gone. If you're set for 2%, your second position's up 6.5% of your balance where you were at the time. So it's really been one of the really great moves that STP is so good at catching, and we're seeing sort of the opposite direction of what we saw at the beginning of last year when the euro dollar was very high and trended down for 2.5 months or something like that. It was a really long trade that was caught there, and that's just the power of STP. It's good at catching these moves, waiting for there to be the energy at the bottom to build up and keep going. So, right now, you started out, if you caught this trade, this was, early, about mid-January, and, it's up 870 pips, almost 900 pips. That's not too shabby. It was having some, we see some support and resistance arrows, lines here. It was not sure quite what to do with this area. It was a little bit of resistance popped through it, but then we show this strong set of railroad tracks here, or twin towers, tweezers, all sorts of names for these, I'm sure, that showed a strong reversal. A little bit of a hesitation here, and it just keeps on going up. It had tested some resistance, but definitely showing a strong trend up. And all these bars are really, really tall. They haven't gone down to like they were back here. So definitely showing a good, strong, continuing trend up. We got the euro yen for the next chart. Again, I got my lines for the STP bars, the indicator bars. What I've got showing here last week was really, really crazy for the yen, and it's really reflected in the charts. It's understandable given all the stuff that's happened. Well, when we had our previous signal that triggered, we had the green turn to red, value of 75.85, so it was below the 81, so that was our sell signal, and it came all the way down here. It only started with looking for 60 pips for volatility. It came all the way down to here, way down by this previous resistance that we see right back here. In fact, it barely got through it and then shot way, way back up. That's a huge candle. This is kind of reminiscent of what happened, I guess it was back in June when they had the flash crash on Wall Street, and it affected the currency markets just like this too. What it did, though, is it came back up, and then this candle here came up, and the wick was just tall enough to stop it out. Let me grab my crosshair tool here. We see that when it did that, it stopped, the second position stopped out at break even at the same time, or on the same candle, that when it completed, there was a green candle. This is an occasional thing that we'll see with STP, and a similar thing with the IBO, that it stops out before the candle has a chance to close. So what you ended up with was a clear chart, no trades. The trend position had stopped out. Then you got your completion of the candle. So as far as STP knew, there was nothing in the way, so it was time to open a new trade. And here's where it would have opened, and it went up since yesterday, so we are positive in the trade. Now, what we're seeing, because of these huge candles, we're seeing gigantic volatility. This makes things a little trickier. So what we have is this resistance is going to be here. I'm going to zoom out just for a second here so we can see this. We can see that this has been resistance in this area. So what Marcello has suggested that people do if you're trading this, if this is in your trading plan, to think about taking your fixed position profit. If when price gets up to this resistance line, it could go ahead and go up, but we're looking at volatility of 300. That's really, really big. So if it continues to go up, that'll be fine. But if it doesn't, if it plays around with resistance here, then your trend position will be up to break even to prevent any serious losses. When you take fixed position, when you take that, it's not going to be a whole lot of money. But this kind of volatility, it's really hard to say, really hard to know what it's going to do next in the short term. Again, the euro should be strong over time, keep going up, but these are difficult, very volatile times right now. The dollar chief, we see here, there was a green turned to red back here, and obviously in the middle range here. So we had this open up here, and we had a really nice strong move down. I think back to not that long ago, it was $1.18, and I'm shocked where it went to. But the price moves where the price moves.
Well, and gas and oil.
Yeah, a lot of things affecting it. But what we have here, we have a red turned to green, which would ordinarily be a signal to close the trade, close it out, because it's a signal in the reverse direction. But here we have it below the 19. So we're seeing this trade still open. Hard to tell where it could go up, stop out at break even. It could continue. The Swiss could continue to strengthen. It could continue to go down and make some more money. But so if you're trading this, if this is in your trading plan, then you should be in a sell right now, and your position should be positive on your fixed position. Pound dollar, we have here where there was a green to red. The first red bar was less than 81. So there's your sell signal. It happened here, and the price went down and didn't have a whole lot of momentum. So it ended up coming back and stopping out back up here. And I believe that this is should still be in trade, because we have another situation where the first green that qualifies as a reverse signal also stopped out the trend position at break even before the end of the bar. So this when this candle here opened up, it opened up here, and you're up about 75 pips right now. Volatility on that is 151, and TP setting is 1.5. So you're looking at 230 pips stop loss or thereabouts, and so your take profit factor is going to be a bit. If we zoom back out again, just like the euro yen was, we're seeing a lot of resistance in this area. So you might consider closing out if price moves. Get that and grab it up a little bit. If the price goes ahead and moves up a bit to this area, you might consider taking off your fixed position and then just letting the trend do its thing and see where it goes to finish out its run. Pound yen, huge spike again, just like with the euro yen. We had the green turn to red in this area down here in the middle, so it qualified as the sell. Here's where we got this. It did retrace a fair amount to it, and there wasn't a whole lot of volatility, so it did retrace a fair amount to the stop loss. Pound yen, I've noticed, does that. My first ever, back in the SSV2 days, trade was a pound yen, and it was unnerving. It was the first time I had real money on the line, but it went ahead and went positive, and it was a successful run for that particular one. So it again came way down. We have here, though, the red turned to green. That's a reverse, and this one's higher than 19. So this, I've got my closeout in the wrong place, but this would have closed out the trade. And here we have the no trade initiated, because the same signal that closes a trade is not supposed to open a new trade. And that's just how the STP is designed to work. All right, so let's go to euro dollar H4 IBO. We see we're currently in potential setup here. If you're running the new settings that were put out, I think that was last week, 2 weeks ago, something like that, of one inside bar, 5 bar trailing stop. This past run that it had was pretty decent. It would have started way down here. We had a breakout bar, went up, got the first take profit. Let's see, first take profit would have been for 87 pips, and that didn't happen until this bar here, but it kept going up. This consolidation area, it just kept going with a 5-bar trailing stop, and when it continued on up, it went up, 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 got another consolidation area, and this wick, you see my line that I got drawn right here, that I have drawn right here, this wick came down just enough to take it out. Marcello was commenting earlier, it's like they knew that FxEdge is out there, and they were out to get it, but you know, just enough to take it out. So this is currently, this closed out the trend position. A tidy win. I think it was 170 some pips right there for that 47 pip. So 3 times your risk percentage on your trend. I run my trend positions, the percentages at 65 for things, because when it moves, I want to catch more of it. But that's me. You have to examine your own trading plan, back test it yourself, and see what you come up with for your personal preferences on that, and then trade it. So right now it is currently in a potential setup. We'll wait and see what happens with that. The triple threat, excuse me a second here. No coughing fit there. Anyway, triple threat, we had this come up. This actually turned out to be a whipsaw situation. Sometimes this happens. Triple threat is a good strong strategy. In fact, if you look at, if you have a triple threat EA, and you put that indicator on charts, the STP or something like that, you'll frequently see STPs at the bottom of trends. So sometimes it's even able to catch things before, one or two bars earlier. Sometimes it'll catch reversals before the STP does, because it has to have that one full day of showing the trend reversal. But here we had both of these, both buy and sell STP possible setup. This candle, the bottom of this one was like 0.2 of a pip higher, so it did qualify. Came down, triggered, went up, stopped out, came back up, and then got this long wick that also closed out the IBO that I talked about a few minutes ago, and has now started to continue in the same direction. I also wanted to quickly mention on the dollar CAD daily. Right now it is in a new triple threat setup, a sell setup. I think we're looking at let's see, about 170 pips worth of risk, kind of to up this area here. The target's down about 9,500. It's I think that's a 1.6 take profit setting on the dollar CAD. Certainly could go that way. Commodities are strong. Canadian dollar is a commodity based currency, like the Aussie dollar, some of these others. It certainly can get less. So we have a situation, the Canadian dollar is worth more than the U.S. dollar. It's been below, it flirted with parity a few times, but it's stayed below parity for a while now. And then last but not least, here's the certainly not least, is one of my favorite strategies is the IREV. The last setup that we had was way down here. You can see the grab my cursor here so you can see my cursor better. The crosshair tool. The last setup was pretty far back down here. But it did continue up and is up here. We had a setup, and for some reason, hold on just a second. Let me grab my web candles. Okay, triple click there, triple click there. Okay. All right. Here we had this was the IBO that's set up here. Yeah, it's a 2 through 6 setting. Came down here. The breakout bar is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. I got so many lines. All the lines on here are kind of confusing me. Anyway, we had a. This was also, I believe, that was in there. Did not have a.
You needed to change your bars to 3.
Oh, okay. My wife just reminded me what I needed to do. Let me. To 3. Okay, well, now it's easier to see anyway. So you got to remember when seeing if the IREV is set to go is for a reverse candle to actually take, the price has to break the high of a buy rev candle or the low of a sell IREV in order to take. And we can see where several examples here where it didn't break lows. So right now it's looking for a new setup, and one thing that Marcello does have that's coming along fairly soon is for those that have the IREV, he's going to have a special gift for everybody, something else that he's going to offer. It's been out for it was released, let's see, a month ago, I think, month and a half ago, and not had a whole lot of setups. I was someone commented to me about that in a little Skype group that I'm part of. That well, where's the trades? And well, it's a powerful trade when it sets up. And if price movement has been so volatile, so trending so much that it's not producing a trade, then if it's not the right conditions, then you don't want it to. Want it to catch it when it's right, because when it's right, as Scott said in the seminar, the webinar that introduced it, it's caught every major reversal. I love this trade. It really suits my what I look for in my view of the markets, and I'm looking forward to when it will happen. So anyway, that's what I have for the trades. Let me open up here, see if there's any questions that anybody has on either the IRA presentation or the charts.
Really quickly before you go on, thank you so much, Keith. That was a really great evaluation of our trading strategies. Just to wrap up quickly, guys, if you didn't figure it out, the euro dollar is up 870 pips right now. The euro yen's in positive territory, about 80 pips. The dollar Swiss is currently up 225 pips. I don't know what the pound dollar is doing, but the pound yen is also currently up. I don't remember where that is. The euro yen is flat, isn't it?
Yes.
Right now. Yeah, it just took some profit on a trade at about 70 pips, and the pound yen is actually up very, very solidly on the STPs. And as he said about the other trades, what we didn't mention that I alluded to a little bit earlier was the weekend warrior trade that we took yesterday. And usually we don't talk about it, but on Mondays. So the weekend warrior trade we had yesterday, which is interesting because these guys are the weekend warriors. Sally and Keith are in there. Sally's definitely in there with me most of the time, and Keith is always there as well when he's able to be there. We trade that on the Sunday session. Anyway, for those of you who are not a part of the weekend warrior yet, you've got to be a part of that trade. It is up considerably, and the euro dollar and I think the dollar Swiss are the trades that we took yesterday, and both of them took profit on both positions, giving us a very good profit. So generally what happens is if you risk 5, you make 6 on that particular trade, and so if you had your risk there on that trade, you should have made 6% per trade. If you risk 5%, if you risk 2%, then of course you would have made obviously a little bit less there, but you're still making really, really good profits on that trade, and that's the only thing I wanted to wrap up as far as the weekend warrior is concerned. If you don't have the weekend warrior, I've said this every single session, get in the weekend warrior, because when you're sitting there and you're watching other people make money and walk away from the table with 5-10% on a week in 2 hours, okay, with automation, they're clicking a button and it's taking the trades for them. You got to be a part of that. It's really the simplest trade that we have, and really a really great producer. So
we think so.
Yeah. Well, we know, yeah.
Well, another thing about Weekend Warrior is that since it's something that happened, it's a short duration trade at a specific time of the week. It's a great way for someone to get their feet wet with Forex. If it's too mysterious for them or something like that, they can come in the trading room. They hear you, they hear Sally, sometimes me if I'm not at work that day. So they're seeing what's going on. They're being basically told what they need to be doing, and it's such a great way. Not only does it make money, which is also a good thing, especially for someone, if you want to introduce someone to Forex, it makes money very consistently, and it's kind of fun because you're in basically a room with other people, so you know you're doing the right thing or not doing the wrong thing.
Well, let's take a few questions on the IRAs. There's a couple questions here. Can you set up an IRA from profits and loss, treat it as capital gains and losses? No, you have got to have, well, I guess the answer is no, but yes, but you have to also have taxable contributions, which would be from either a self-employment account, if you owned a business, or if you had wages. So if all you were doing is a Forex trader, the answer is no, you would not be able to set up an IRA. Okay, let's see. Another question is, this guy says he's a little confused. Do you have to get a custodial account from a different firm before FxEdge will trade your IRA? And the answer is yes. There has to be a go-between. You have to have someone because you have to have a hands-off your own money because of the IRS codes and laws. And sometimes I think that the federal government must be thinking of, I don't know how they come up with some of these laws. And some days they're smoking something. But anyway, yes, you must have a custodial firm to have a self-directed IRA.
Let's see a question. Okay. See one question here dealing with the charts. Do all of the arrows on the chart indicate a buy or sell? Is there other criteria? If you're referencing these black arrows, for instance, that's just the indicator. That's just denoting a rev candle. If you're thinking of some of them that I put on the charts, let me get where I can find one that okay, like right here. This green arrow with a box around it, that's one of these arrows. So that's just something that I put on the chart, so frankly, so I would remember what I needed to point out. But I use them all the time when I'm looking at charts. I'm putting arrows on things and moving them around, and just to keep track of stuff, because it can be tricky to do that. To keep track of everything that's going on. But the rev candle, the black arrows, as I color them black, that's a rev candle. That's just an indicator.
Okay, here's a question that says earned income, not taxable income. What I mean is taxable wages or self-employment income is what the code says. So you have to have they say taxable. Depending on which one you were doing, there's a possibility that you would have so little of income from wages that it wouldn't be taxable, but that you could maybe set it up like a Roth. But again, talk to your accountant.
And information like Sally had, like Sally presented, is one of the things that's really important to be able to do is to have a vocabulary to talk to the person that you're going to be asking the questions. You know, you have some way to ask a question that's intelligible so that you can get a good answer. So if there's something that was said, then a good thing to do is, okay, well, here I heard this. You know, how does this apply to me when you're talking to your tax professional?
Another question says, Roth IRAs, do they have income limitations? The answer to that is yes. Your tax professional would be able to tell you those, or you can go to irs.gov and then go to publications. Would you guys like me to show you how to pull down a publication? In fact, why don't you show them, Keith, how to pull up that publication on the IRS site?
Okay. Well,
there's irs.gov, and then if you go to forms and pubs right up here, then if you go to publication numbers, and at the find box, if you put in 590 and hit find, you'll be able to pull up that publication.
and the IRS has plenty of publications, as she said. They're good for insomnia.
Yes. If you can't fall asleep at night, please print these off. You have a whole library to print off.
So that's basically where to find that. I see one question back here about what's STP. That is Swing Trader Pro. That's the name of the EA. Let me pull that back up. Let's see, that's not the right one. Is that it? No. There we go. That is what's shown on, let me pull with less lines, this template. You have your volatility down here at the bottom. That's a meter. You have the STP indicator here, the green and red bars, and the change from green to red or red to green is what we look for the indication of the change in momentum of the trend. And there are certain limitations on when you actually take that based on the strength of the bars. If it turns up here like this one did, it's still showing that the trend was strong enough, or indicating strong enough that let's see, I think I'm saying that right. Anyway, there's criteria. It's got to turn from green to red below a certain point or above a certain point. Anyway, wish I could be more articulate on exactly how that goes. I just have to explain it where it is. But that is it's a very good, very profitable EA.
The income limitations that I put up on my slides were 2011. The income limitations on the Roth changes every year, just like everything else with the IRS. So again, check with the publication. I know somebody had asked that. And they vary depending on your filing status, whether you're filing jointly or single or head of household. Okay, I think that's...
Did you get that?
Anyway, if you have any other, like I said, you can get the PowerPoint presentation from Teresa. If you're interested in getting any of the EAs that Keith talked about, you can check with the website, which is
myfxedge.com.
myfxedge.com. If you're interested in any, the PowerPoint presentation or the information from the custodial firms, you can check with Teresa at information, what is it?
Info@myfxedge.com. And also, I see a couple questions on the current versions. The iRev, make sure you have number 153. The IBO2 is 259. The triple threat, the current version is 290. So that's something that if you don't have those, there was an iRev update, a slight update that Marcello posted real soon after the end of the last that last update webinar that he did. So if you haven't updated it since that webinar, then you definitely need to go to the to the website and download that so it's current. There was a small but very helpful change that was updated there. Let's see. There's see a question. Like to try one of the FxEdge EAs. You have some trading experience. You know, my favorite's the Weekend Warrior. You know, that's there's a lot of advantages to that. You know, if you're hybrid, then you have that includes both STP and the IBO. You know, they're both very good. There's different kinds of strategies, and it's something that that you have to see. You know, what's your trading style, and then just take a look at the information that's on the website. There are the trading reports, the results reports that can be very helpful and give all kinds of information about how they have performed in the past. And looking through the line of questions, I think I've got them all. We've handled them. So anyway, this is what we'll just wrap this up for today. And happy trading, and thanks for listening. Bye bye.